In 1993, I was in my first speaking circle with Lee, and he gave me a feedback. He said magnetic. There was a new me that emerged in that very moment. I don't have to be a dynamic person. I could just be in myself, in my depth, and draw people towards me. You know, this waking up of a part or who I really am, I think, or the way that I am because of being more introverted than extroverted. But I could be in the world, I could be in front of people, I could maybe train people. You know, I was in that speaking circle because I was afraid. Even though I had a PhD in psychology, I was still well hidden, way deep inside.
The heart, the core of that person, which they might not be standing in all the time. They may be walking all around it, but because I'm attuned with them, I can name that for them. And when I'm receiving essence appreciation, they name it for me. And one of the directions Doreen gave to me is that when listening to the essence appreciation that I receive when I'm watching the videos afterwards, is to take that in, to continue to watch it until I can claim that quality for myself. I want the person that I'm with, that I'm giving this appreciation to, I'm wanting them to own the beauty that they are.
There's a way that I know myself, but there's a way that you, who maybe I've just met this weekend, see something about me that I can't see. You know, I mean, there's a whole... Well, first of all, I only see what comes out this window. It's very limited, really, even in the physical. So that those powers of reflection and the gifts of reflection is really held in this piece about the essence appreciation, or is really given expression in the essence appreciation. And when my tuning fork catches at once authenticity in the expression from a listener and appreciation coming together, it's such a treasure of a gift to receive, and can really move from a place of challenge to receive to a greater and greater capacity to be willing to see in myself what others see. So I've come a long way in the last 3 days from being a little bit of a skeptic about essence appreciation, and to, you know, much more fully ready to embrace the challenge, because the benefits are worth that awkward navigation through what may be difficult. And so I feel that I can speak from that, speak from the value of essence appreciation in a way that will carry me as a facilitator through any challenges around correction or helping people kind of find and sound just that note, the true and loving, caring, reflective, yeah, generous. Oh.
I love essence appreciations, and oftentimes I see them as a mental stretch, as exercising that muscle of seeing the essence. So many times it brought new insights to me, because I myself have a tendency to see the bottle as half empty, and when somebody affirms that it's also half full, I'm like, wow, it so oftentimes takes me back to hear back what I feel is in me. And the discussion inspired me to think about essence appreciation as a gift that we are giving to the person up front. It's not about us, it's about them and what we want to, it's like this precious gift that I want to give the person that was up front. I feel it also helps us train us in what we call in life coaching level 3 listening, as opposed to listening for content. We're trained as listeners to listen for what's beyond the content, what wants to express in the person up front, like what is their jewel or essence or juice.
The feedback breaks through all of the fortresses that we have around ourselves and releases our essence so that we get to have a new life. It's like that whole idea of the seed in the acorn tree, We've got those seeds. And we want to nourish those seeds. And essence appreciation to me is the nourishment of those seeds that are within. And it's like, ooh, grow, guy, grow. Just, and the applause is about, growing that. You got a voice now, a real voice from your essence. And to me, that's where no fear is. That you got to get people into their essence so they could then have the strength to express from their real voice.
When I first started doing circles, essence appreciation was a real challenge for me. That arose out of a huge lack of self-esteem, self-confidence. Could I trust whatever it was I came up with? Having the confidence to believe that whatever I said would be, in quotes, acceptable to the other person. I was very concerned about what other people would say or think. And as the years have gone by, it's gotten much easier. And we never know what people are dealing with. I know from hearing people talk that sometimes they can appear on the outside to be full of self-confidence, but on the inside, they're quaking. They're quaking. They just have learned how not to show it.
Essence appreciation is a vital part of speaking circles. The speaking circle experience, I think it's threaded between the person here and when we're listening. I really like Lee's idea of being aware of essence appreciation from the very beginning of the person's turn. One reason why that helps me is I have an ADD problem, and I get distracted very easy. So it does several things for me. I feel responsible to have an essence appreciation. I feel like it's part of my job as a listener to have an essence appreciation for that person when it's my turn to give it. So I like the idea of starting right away to find what that is. And I feel really good when it comes and I can just kind of put it in my file and hopefully keep it. But I mean, it's I think vital. That helps me tune in too, because with my particular issues, I get distracted very easily. But the essence appreciation helps me to add substance to the attention that I'm giving the person. I'm really good at looking into someone's eyes and being with them but my mind could be somewhere else too. And essence appreciation gives me some context to stay with them. So I feel like that's really important.
I think one of the main important reasons for appreciations is we all could use more practice probably in appreciating, and I think almost all of us haven't had enough of it, especially as children. I myself mainly just felt like I got negative criticism. I don't really remember ever being told when something was working, but that's just my memory also. But nonetheless, it balances out all of the negative ideas we might have of ourselves so that we learn to see what is okay in spite of the shadow stuff that's still there. That is so important for me. Also, in being with listeners in the circle, attendees, for me to, or for all of us, focusing on as the person speaking to really see what we appreciate is a great way to bypass our own inner critics that might be really good at critical evaluation. So many of us as trainers have been trained to look for things that can be improved in other kinds of training. I certainly have. And so that helps me stay focused on the positive. It's a real path for me. Oh, the other important thing, sometimes I'm amazed by the words people come up with, and I find myself wanting to be that creative. And then it becomes more about me rather than staying really in relational presence, focused with the person that I'm going to give the appreciation to. So just coming back to myself in my heart and breathing and really giving my focus to the other person, I think is more important than coming up with something amazing.
So that's all about essence appreciation. Now, what about training it though? What I'm trying to do is train people in the audience to learn a new way of listening, a new way of seeing, a new way of acknowledging those seeds within. That's the challenge, I think, of becoming a facilitator, is having a whole room of people who have not practiced, not been trained to notice essence appreciations. So that at the end of the evening, you've got a whole room of people that have learned something new. You can't really stand up here unless you've been seen, witnessed, affirmed, yes, supported in your essence. Then I could stand up here and I know my essence. So I have no fear because I know my essence, and it's always been there, it will always be there. It will never die. In fact, that's why I probably stay in speaking circles and trainings like this, because it just keeps on getting stronger and stronger. So yeah, the challenge, I think, is how to train facilitators to know that that's what they're doing, is training people how to listen and how to give essence appreciation. You know, like from the very beginning, even when you're giving the listening instructions, how do you listen? And I tell them that, you know, by the end of our session, you'll walk out with a whole new way of listening in the world.